So how long did you spend in the sort of MMA world, gyms and events?
Um, well, it was kind of a natural progress, really. Um, James and I obviously started at the Gracie Academy initially, and about 3 years later, we kind of went in different directions. And I mean, at that time, I was teaching a lot more with the guys at Panther, but I had been for a little while before then. Um, and me and Anthony have been mates now for a long time.
Mm,
So, through different places to teach and that kind of thing, um, there's always been an MMA influence alongside the Jits,
right.
which is interesting because it's a different mindset to
Mm,
teach. And I'm kind of glad of some of the the punch block series stuff from the Gracie combatives,
mm,
because that obviously helped a lot as well.
mm,
But yeah, it's a different mindset, and a lot of the guys there don't wear the gi and that kind of thing.
right.
So and you're taking into account distances with striking, and
Mm,
this is again part of this thing that you see between the different sides of the family. Because if you do sportive jiu-jitsu, and I mean, I love sport, I love the gi, I love sportive jiu-jitsu. I think
mm,
it's the ultimate in terms of the chess game.
yeah.
But a lot of the time you're trying to manufacture this nice distance so that you can set up a deep half guard, or you can maneuver about with a spider guard and that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. And obviously within MMA, those distances are very dangerous for striking. So you have to revisit the whole guard game and all of your transitions and everything like that
Mm,
to do it in a safe manner where that space isn't being created. Um, and I've had guys that still have some bad reflexes from sport jiu-jitsu that have fought MMA and paid the price,
mm,
which is unfortunate.
yeah.
I mean, jumping guard would be one of them for the
Mm,
reason that we've talked about. But even someone stands up in your guard and you reach in to underhook a leg. I mean, great, in jiu-jitsu you might be looking for a knee bar or
mm-hmm.
something like that. Um, and in MMA, you're just going to get smashed in the
Yeah, you
face.
get elbowed in the face from there.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So the mindset's different.
It's a yeah, you can feel it when you see people that come from a purely jiu-jitsu background, and then you would roll with them and you roll with guys that do MMA, jiu-jitsu for MMA.
Mm.
It's a complete, I always feel like the people that do MMA, their primary goal is always just to uh, get space and stand up, especially when they're on the bottom.
Yes.
And that's always so annoying because it's like if you go up against, if you roll with them or you go up against them in competition, it's like you can't, like it feels like you can't pin them down at all
Mm.
and start to work for something because they're constantly moving and it
Yes.
just doesn't stop. And it's a really good way to roll. I mean, if you can
Yeah.
keep that up for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, however long your round is, um, whereas it's good. Whereas where you go up against a classic jiu-jitsu player, if you want to call them that,
Mm.
you know, it's more relaxed probably, and like you say, you go into a deep half guard, you're fine to be there, and it's just complete different mindsets.
Yeah.
But it's annoying to roll with people that have an MMA focus just because they don't stop moving
Yeah.
at all.
Absolutely. And it's the mindset is very different. You're like, come on, let's get into this stuff down here. But he doesn't
Mm,
want to get into that stuff. He's doing MMA.
mm,
So, and I think it's important to recognize, these different threads.
mm,
Self-defense, sport jiu-jitsu, MMA, they're all different threads, and
mm,
you can train for one, you can train. I always say, if you have the luxury of enough time, then train for multiple modes.
mm,
So you can go, right, I'm training, this is sportive jiu-jitsu. Okay. Today I'm training jiu-jitsu for self-defense. So
right.
my mindset's different. If you can do that and you have the luxury and you have enough time on the mat, then that's great.
Mm,
Um, Unfortunately, most people don't have that luxury. So they kind of have to choose one mode over the other.
mm,
And in fact, a lot of sportive clubs don't realize then there is any other mode other than the sport that they're doing. Um, but that's where you get the whole debates backwards and forwards, and the
mm,
how long before you roll and that kind of thing.
mm,
Um, so yeah, it's. I think it's important to have the right reflexes for what you want to do. Um, don't get me wrong. Someone who does sportive jiu-jitsu is in a much better position self-defense wise than someone that doesn't.
yes.
But also there are some reflexes there. Open guard, as an example, that really is a bad reflex for either self-defense or MMA.
Mm,
So you just need to work. train for what you want to work for.
Yeah, try to get a balance between the different styles. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that clip, I've got another one for you over here and over here. Please don't forget to subscribe over here and have a look at my other socials down in the description box below. Thanks for watching.